This is the final fourth part of a four-part series on multi-currency management for Microsoft Dynamics GP. Today we're going to talk about entering exchange rates, both entering them as you would as a daily task or weekly task, and entering them on the fly while you're entering in a transaction. Let's start with where you enter the exchange rate if it's a task you perform daily, weekly, or however often you key them in. To get to the exchange rate maintenance window, we'll click on Cards, System, and Exchange Table, and we'll pull up the exchange table that we want to enter rates for. I'm going to enter in for the Canadian dollar sell rate exchange table. And what you're going to do is choose the date that the currency exchange rate is good for and the time that you enter it in. Then we'll also enter in the exchange rate itself and an expiration date. Now you'll notice that we cannot change the calculation method or what the exchange rate is based on because this is set up with all of the other information within the exchange or within the table itself. And then we'll simply click Insert, and it inserts it into our list and save. And now that exchange rate is set up for us. Let's see it in action. So we're going to enter in, let's create a batch, a payables invoice. And the invoice is going to be dated April 11th, the same day as our exchange rate. And we'll pull up and we'll select Associated Insurance. And I'll exchange the currency to Canadian dollars. And I'll enter in invoice number. And you'll notice that my purchase amount shows up in Canadian dollars. So let's key it in as 100 Canadian dollars. Now let's go to distribution and see how it really shakes out. It's shaking out at $75 US for the $100, and that's because we entered in an exchange rate on currency ID. I'll click on the expansion window of 0.75 for April 11th. Let's save this transaction and key in another transaction dated April 12th. Let's remember to change it to Canadian, put in our document number, and we'll put in $50. Now if we go in here, we can see the exchange rate is still using that same 0.75. But if I want to change it for this particular transaction, I could come in and say make it 7.4. But in this case, I'll add it. It takes me back to the multi-currency exchange maintenance window. I'll add it in and save. And now when I click OK, I get the message that the distributions and transactions are going to be recalculated because I've changed the currency information. And it's just prompting me to review them. So now when we come in, you can see it went from $37.50 US dollars to 37 US dollars. And that's how we can work exchange rates. Exchange rates aren't that hard. Keeping them updated is the most difficult thing, and that's not a difficult task either. There are a couple applications out there that'll help you maintain exchange rates for you, and feel free to use those. And you'll only need to key in exchange rates as often as your company designates. Hope this helps.